captain, Craig Brathwaite, they're fielding at short extra cover of the bowling of Warwican. He was on 40. And so far, 40 of 124 balls. Don't really associate slow scoring with Virat Kohli. But the situation demands. Here he is covering up. Plays it on the offside. Blackwood picks up and there is no run. Yesterday, a very slow scoring day. 90 overs bowled, only 232 runs scored by India. But you can really put it down to having dismissed the West Indies for 150. They realized that there's ample time to bat and bat as long as possible.
Well, they have 3 days to bat, so they're not in a hurry. They felt that they could take their time. Obviously, they're looking to bat once.
Here is Holder from the Botanic Gardens end. In fact, it's Alzari Joseph, beg your pardon. Holder began the attack, but now Alzari Joseph has taken up the attack from the Billy Doctorow Pavilion end. Alzari Joseph not having the pitch doesn't really assist the fast bowlers, and he is into his 15th over, none for 70 so far.
Yeah, a bit expensive, I mean, but he's still trying, putting 100% effort from Alzari Joseph.
So the partnership is 95 runs already by these two. Alzari forces Kohli into defense, covers up well, sign of a very good batsman, getting a good delivery and playing every ball to its merit.
Well, if you're a good batsman, I think he's close to a good batsman. I mean, his record has showed that he's one of the outstanding batsmen of his generation. I mean, together with people like Joe Root and Steve Smith and what's the other one, the one from...
Kane Williamson?
Yeah, Kane Williamson. These have been the batsmen of the generation, and Kohli is just outstanding in every format. And every format, this guy has been outstanding.
But over the last 2 years, he hasn't...
in Test cricket.
In Test cricket.
Yeah, he has made big scores except for that 184 against Australia earlier this year.
Here is Alzari Joseph. Bowls, delivery on the legs of the batsman, a chance for a run out. Shies at the stumps there and misses, but a quick run taken, a risky one.
Very risky, and Kohli is that kind of guy. He does run fast between the wickets, but in fact, early, it was yesterday, there was this single where Joshua could have been run out. It was a similar thing, and Joshua could have been run out. We haven't seen it on the monitor yet, but this was, I think, a very risky single a while ago. We haven't seen it much to see how close it was, but I'm guessing they want to rotate the strike, and he's now on what, 46, probably looking to get to a half century. He struggled a bit, as you said, been batting since yesterday over almost 3 hours for 46, and it has been a struggle. We saw Rohit Sharma himself yesterday. If we have to look at the monitor to see how close that was, the pick up and throw, and it would have been very tight. It would have been tight. If it had hit, it would have been tight. But West Indies need a wicket, and the lead is getting a bit bigger now. We saw almost 186 runs. So India obviously looking to push on. Young guy, he would have been out. I mean, he would have been out. When you look at it once more, he'd have been run out. So Kohli earlier this week, last over, we saw he got a catch to Craig Brathwaite, a short extra cover of Warwican. Warwican has bowled well, Andy.
Yes.
Bowled pretty well.
38 overs, 1 for 88, an opportunity to get another. And the very first ball that Kohli faced, he had a loud shout, a confident appeal, which was disallowed, and on the replay, it showed that it clearly wasn't out.
Going down the leg side, in fact. And they lost the review for that.
Warwican bowls to Kohli. Kohli pushes it to squarish cover. Alzari Joseph is there and there is no run. And that review has some significance, because when
Joshua
was trapped by Holder, there wasn't any review, and the replays showed that he was clearly out.
Was it Holder or Roach? Or Kima Roach?
Roach, Kima Roach, I beg your pardon, yes. So delivery there to Kohli, placed to Brathwaite at extra cover, and there is no run. 2 slips go down, he plays it fieldsman there at seal it off, picks up, and there is no run. So if you've got to use your reviews wisely, it says. So Brathwaite bringing in Kima Roach from the long off boundary. And he has Hoda there at mid-on. Blackwood at mid-wicket straightish. Extra cover, squarish cover, and a man there, Craig Brathwaite there at short extra cover as the ball is bowled there by Warwican, and Kohli defense, and there is no run. Comes forward, pushes it to Joseph at squarish cover, and again they can score. When you get the chances on great batsmen like Kohli, you can't allow that to go easily. But we'll get back to that. Warwican bowls a quicker delivery, Kohli defends, and at the end of the over, India 336 for the loss of 2. The latest score here at Windsor Park.
The Grenville Cooperative Credit Union, the credit union of Grenville, takes you where you want to be. Feel secure with the Credit Union of Grenville, taking care of all your financial needs, including savings, loans, mortgages, and sound financial advice. Serving you with branches on Jubilee Street in Grenville, Lucas Street in St. George's, and coming soon, our Grandstand sub-office. Call us on 442-8602 or visit one of our offices. With Grenville Cooperative Credit Union, your financial security is guaranteed.
It will be sometime after lunch. The lead 186. Jaiswal on 157. Waits for Azari Joseph. Drives forcefully. Finds Riffer there at cover, and there is no run. Bright sunny day once again, Lockhart.
Oh, lovely sunshine, and that's why you look at the greenery, and I reiterate, Dominica is just a lovely place. When you look at the greenery, look at the botanic gardens, you look towards the Loda area, the southern part. It's beautiful, and that's why visitors should come visit Dominica, Andy.
Yes, there are a lot of good sites. There's the Bury Lake, the Boiling Lake, the Trafalgar Falls, the Chitu Gorge, Indian River, the Cabrits, Sari Falls. As Joseph bows to Jaiswal. Jaiswal is cutting through the slip region. The ball goes down to the boundary for 4.
Yes, between slip and gully, safe stroke. I mean, there's no second slip, and easily went to the boundary. And Andre, while we're on, we just want to tell visitors the World Creole Music Festival will be in a few months' time. We're inviting people in the end of October. Come to Dominica. It's a lovely time to be here. It's a Creole time, a lot of Creole food. You can enjoy the Creole Festival, and just come to Dominica and have fun and enjoy yourself.
Well, it's a wonderful time to visit Dominica. The cuisine is superb, and the sights, they are wonderful. And with the rain over the last few days, you can see it has put the place totally green. The greenery is just magnificent.
Natural. Just a beautiful country, Dominica.
Here is Alzari Joseph. Bows to Jaiswal. Jaiswal is covering up, a bit squared up on this occasion, but manages to get back onto the ball. Ball goes to cover. Riffer is there, and there is no run.
Yeah, and lovely delivery from Alzari Joseph. As you say, squared him up. Yeah.
And look at it, I was very happy to see the way on entering the grounds, the pan in harmony with the songs of steel band.
David Winston, David Bob D as they call him.
Yes.
He's the guy playing the steel band.
No, there was a whole orchestra playing.
This morning?
Yes, this morning.
Okay.
Pan in Harmony is their name. And I really felt good entering the grounds, and then you're greeted with that sound of steel, with some local calypsos and a woman on the bass and this. And by the way, there are quite a few female players.
Yeah, woman on the bass.
Yes, Alzari bows, Jaisal covers up, pushes it to cover, and there is no run.
I like that, the woman on the bass. Yeah. And a good calypso is lovely enough, particularly when it's jumpy and you can dance on it. There have been the only thing of people like the Mighty Sparrow, even locally, King Dice. You've had outstanding calypsonians locally.
Indeed, indeed. We haven't seen the Lapu Cowboys yesterday. They played, and not their best of days yesterday.
Look a bit jaded.
But remember that the West Indies, they've got to bat a second time, so we'll expect them to come out here and perform. Drives, beats cover, beats reefer. Fieldsman moving across from mid-off, does well, and limits the batsman just to a single.
And in fact, Andy, as I talk about King Dice, it seems to me you have retired. I remember a few years ago, you were the guy on stage with King Dice, as one of the guys doing his calypso song, but it seems to me age has caught up on you and retired.
Yes, I mean, I've done so many great acts with King Dice, 9-time Calypso King, the Prince of Darkness, the Puppet Master, to name a few. So I've been in the Calypso field doing my part, entertaining the crowd, and sometimes people do not even recognize me on stage.
I remember you did the song. I remember you were on stage during that time, and you really did put on a performance for the crowds.
Azari, Bosto, Kohli, rising delivery, handles it well. A good one there from Azari as the over comes to an end. He has bowled 16 overs, none for 76. India 341 for the loss of 2. That's the latest score here at Windsor Park.
And Ansari Joseph continued Andy to try his best. The pitch surely not assisting him. The pitch is not a pitch where you get in bounce. It's not hard enough, and it's not the pitch that suits him. But still, nonetheless, he's tried. He's a bit expensive, but I think he's tried, and I believe probably the next test when he gets to Trinidad, maybe, and I say maybe he might get a pitch which will have more bounce and probably a little more grass.
So India lost their last wicket when Gill was out, caught by half an hour of Warrican. The score was 240. So these two have added 100 partnerships so far, 101 partnership, and they're looking to continue. They show you Kohli dropped on 40 by Brathwaite. He has moved on to 46. And Jaiswal, when he was given that life, you can call it a life by the umpire, he was on 132. So he has moved on to 162. And as Andrew McLean was saying, the whole crowd they were seeing it on the big screen.
Yes.
So they knew definitely that batsman was out. But the water under the bridge, as they say, as Warrican, the batsman is using his feet and hitting it straight over the bowler's head. A magnificent shot there by Jaiswal for 6.
Yes, a well-flighted delivery. The young man came down the trap and a lovely stroke straight overhead, Andy. And this guy continues to grow in confidence.
Well, when you watch Jaiswal play the IPL, he was all attack. Here he has tempered himself and he has batted a splendid test innings.
He has played extremely well, and again, like I have said, he's a custom of making 100. He's now at his 10th first-class 100. 10th.
Warrican from over the wicket draws the batsman forward and in defense. So after that attacking shot using his feet, prepared now to stay there. He doesn't want to get out. He looks like a man on a mission to get somewhere 200, 250. As he struck on the pad, a loud appeal, and confident one there by Warrican, but the umpire Kettlebrew disallows the appeal, and certainly a little bit of frustration there for the West Indies players.
Might be outside, might have struck him outside.
Let's watch it on the monitor.
Yeah, might have struck him outside off. Well, West Indies have no reviews. West Indies have no reviews, so.
On the monitor, it looked pretty close. That's all I was prepared to see.
It looked like it came in the middle. If we watch
and
it.
you watch it on a pitched on, maybe going down the leg side, maybe missing wicket missing.
The leg stump.
So good decision there by umpire Kettlebrew.
Yeah, miss it.
It's always refreshing for an umpire when he sees the review or the replay It goes on the back foot, punches it to the right of cover, sends in the return, hits the stumps, a direct hit there by Shandapol. The ball ricochets off the stumps, they cross for a few overthrows, and certainly, in fact, the umpire now calling for a review to see if the batsman was in his crease.
Virat Kohli, and then Kohli is normally a good runner, fast runner. I mean, but to me, and the umpire probably signaled not out when the ball hit the stumps. Clearly not out. Clearly not out. He's been clearly not out.
But ultra cautious. You have the replay, why not use it? You can see the ball coming. In fact, the players going up. The umpire a bit unsighted there by the wicket keeper though. So he was very much correct in calling to see exactly what happened.
It makes no sense taking chances, but clearly Kohli was way inside of his crease. Clearly not out.
So the lead is 200 runs now, Lockhart.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. It's a huge lead, 200.
Here is Warrican decides to go around the wicket once again. Kohli plays back, pushes it on the onside, and there is no run. So Kohli and Jaiswal beginning today. India with 312 for 2. They have moved to 350 for the same 2 wickets. Kohli has moved on to 46. Comes forward, plays on the onside to mid-wicket. Blackwood is there. He fields. There is no run. The over comes to an end. At the end of over number 125, India 350 for the loss of 2. And that's the latest score here at Windsor Park.
Not very often you see Virat Kohli batting 137 balls to score 46, and obviously the pitch is not a pitch he feels that he can play through, but he's prepared to fight. In fact, Rohit Sharma himself batted over 200 balls for 103. So Indian batsmen are prepared to fight. Not the kind of pitch they feel that they can play through the line, but obviously they know, having bowled out the West Indies for 150, they felt they had plenty of time. So they felt that they could buckle down, they have time, get a big leader, probably 300 and more, and then look to bowl out the West Indies.
Exactly, because had it been the West Indies had batted longer and India were trying to push to get some runs to declare, it would have been quite a different situation. But 150 all out on the first day, ample time to bat and just take the other team out of the picture completely. Here is Alzari Joseph. Bowes, good delivery, the batsman covers up, once again pushes it to cover, where Rifa picks up and there is no run.
And Andy, I know you're a tennis fan, and today you have these big semi-finals at Wimbledon. You have Medvedev against Alcaraz, and the man himself, Djokovic, against Sinner. The 2 big semi-finals at Wimbledon today. In fact, this morning one should be going on now. I believe one might have been finished by now. I think they were due to start at 8 o'clock this morning. So 2 big semi-finals, the men's semi-finals at Wimbledon today.
Djokovic looking to get his 24th Grand Slam. He's way ahead already. Here at Windsor Park, Alzari Joseph bows to Jaiswal, gets another good delivery. In behind it, pushes it to cover, once again Rifa fields and there is no run. So Alzari Joseph bowling good line and length. The pitch is not giving that much assistance. You've just got to concentrate and keep working hard. And definitely Alzari Joseph prepared to push in the hard work. But Jaiswal on the other hand, he is batting quite solidly. Doesn't look like a man who is prepared to give his hand away. Here is Joseph once again. Bows to Jaiswal. Jaiswal is again getting a good delivery directed right on the stumps. Covers up and once again Rifa at cover picks up.
And you have to marvel at the outstanding, the temperament of this young guy and his concentration. He's prepared to bat for 2-3 days. The way he's looking, he still looks fresh, and he's batted almost the entire day yesterday, which almost 330 minutes. He batted 2 hours the day before and he's still there. So he's prepared to just bat on, his youngster.
When you consider people like Dhawan still playing cricket, Prithvi Shaw still playing cricket, Shubman Gill as an opener, and Jaiswal has come out and made a mark immediately. Here is Joseph, again forced to cover up, thought of a single, but this time Kohli won't respond, sends him back, and there is no run.
Yes, and the youngster, 171 on debut. His highest first-class score is 212. Maybe he's aiming for that or more, Andy.
So Cornwall there at slip, you just can't miss Cornwall. No matter on what part of the field he is, you can't miss him. And if he's off the field, you will definitely, he'll be conspicuous by his absence.
Correct.
So we watch now as Zari Joseph runs into bowl to Jaiswal. Jaiswal is getting the ball, a good one once again, trying to turn it to leg. Ball striking him high on the body, and there's triggers on the offside, and he can score.
Well, Andy, you know, one thing I'm hoping in the next few years after that groundsmen in the Caribbean, let us try to get pitches with more bounce, pitches with more grass. I think too often in the Caribbean you come to ground a bit bare. So what we want to see, pitches a bit harder, like in the old days at Barbados and Jamaica, which will enable us to get the fast bowlers coming back. So I would like to see that around the Caribbean, where you have pitches with more grass, you have pitches that are harder, which will encourage the young fast bowlers.
I quite agree with you as Joseph goes to Jaiswal. Jaiswal is playing hard, gets the edge, and Jaiswal goes, caught at the wicket of Zari Joseph. Jaiswal goes for 171. India lose their third wicket at 350.
Yes, good delivery from Zari Joseph. He tried hard, and you can see the disgust that the young man face. That's Joshua. He felt he should have stayed there. But a very good delivery from Zari Joseph, who has tried, and he's tried. The pitch doesn't suit his type of bowling, but you can see he has tried. He's not given up. He's tried 120%, I would say, and he's been rewarded with the wicket of Joshua. But having said that, that's been a lovely inning from this young man. He's batting forward, almost maybe over 387 balls played on his table today. Outstanding batting by this youngster, Andy Carter.
Yes, 16 fours and 1 6, 387 deliveries, 171 he scored, and what an innings, what a knock we've had from Jaiswal. Superb knock, but Zari Joseph, he was consistent in that over, kept him quiet, kept the ball on the off stump, and in the end got the reward for very good bowling and a good wicket for Zari Joseph, putting in the hard work and getting the results.
Oh yes, it has been a very good try from Zari Joseph. Since yesterday, Andy, as we have said, the pitch is not the type of pitch he would enjoy, not enough bounce. But he's tried. I mean, he has been a little expensive, but I think he has bowled very well. Captain, I'm sure, will be happy with the kind of performance he has put in. Only 1 wicket, but he has tried on it. And Warwican himself has bowled extremely well as well, Joel Warwican. So the West Indian bowlers, despite the fact that the Indians have a big lead, have tried. They continue to try. Zari Joseph has come out this morning and told his captain, I will give you 5-6 overs at good pace, and he's been rewarded every wicket of Joshua.
Indeed. So 2 big partnerships, 229 between Rohit Sharma and Jaiswal, and now 110 run partnership just broken there by Zari Joseph, getting the wicket of Jaiswal, caught behind of Zari Joseph for 171. 171, 387 balls he faced, 16 fours and 1 6, and one must compliment the batsman there, Jaiswal. Very good knock, as the vice captain of the Indian team will come out in a short while. The fieldsmen, they are having themselves refreshed. Ajinkya Rahane has made his way back into the Indian team. He had some difficulties because Shreyas Ayers was playing, and I think because of some injury to Ayers.
He had some back issues, yeah.
Yes, he has forced his way back on, and he batted quite well even in the
IPL
and in the World.
In England, he played both innings. He played extremely well.
Exactly.
In fact, he made a comeback as he went back into local cricket, the Ranji Trophy in India, made a lot of runs. He was rewarded, and is now the vice captain.
So with the players having themselves refreshed, we'll have a change of commentator. Andrew McLean will come on now, and Lockhart will continue with him. With India just losing Jaiswal, Yashasvi Jaiswal out for 171, and a good breakthrough there. I leave you with Lockhart Sebastian, and after Andrew McLean.
Yes, Andy, as you said, good wicket for the West Indies. As Harry Joseph was tried, he's pulled his hat out. It's not the pitch type of pitch you would enjoy, but he's picked up the wicket of Jaiswal, who has played this outstanding inning. And West Indies, I wouldn't say they're trying to get back into the game, because a lead of 200, you're way behind, but they seem to be trying. Warwick has bowled extremely well this morning. He had a mischance of his bowling when Craig Brathwaite put down the catch at extra cover when Virat Kohli tried to stroke one for the covers. So the West Indian bowlers have been trying, as I welcome our first time to get for the morning, Mr. Andrew McLean. How are you, sir?
Good morning, Sebo. Yeah, doing well, thanks. It's been quite an eventful first hour, really, hasn't it? We've seen Kohli get dropped by Craig Brathwaite, and then Jaiswal there just chasing one wide of the off stump and giving Joseph his first wicket of the match. But yeah, what an absolutely tremendous knock by Jaiswal. 171 off 387 balls. So the fall of that wicket has brought Ajinkya Rahane to the crease, and West Indies leading by India leading by exactly 200 now. So it's good to see West Indies keeping the pressure on, even though Kohli's there on 46, 3 men around the bat. Here's Warwick beginning a new over, bowling to Kohli, as defended to the man at silly mid-off, I guess you would call him. That's Ramon Reefer there under the helmet. We've got Cornwall at first slip, Athanaze at second slip. Here's Kohli, it's defending into the offside. It's just wide of Chanderpaul at cover, and it's time for Kohli to take a single that moves him on to 47, and India 351 for 3. Good to see the crowd getting a bit lively already.
Let's hope we get a much bigger crowd today, Andy, somewhere in the 5,000 region.
It's good to hear as Warwick bowls another one to Rahane this time, facing his first delivery. And excuse me. Here we go. Here's Warwick, and that beats the outside edge of Ajinkya Rahane, and it goes through to De Silva. I have to say, De Silva's had a good match.
Yes.
He's been very tidy behind the stumps, and I thought that catch to get Rohit Sharma out, he just made it look so easy yesterday. Here's Warwick, and Rahane's whipping that one through mid-wicket. Jermaine Blackwood comes across to pick that up, and there's one run to Rahane, so he's off the mark. He'll be happy about that. Always good to get a run under your belt early. No, I really like the way that Craig Brathwaite's persisting with keeping close catches to Kohli, including himself at a short mid-off. Here's Warwick to Kohli, and that one, does he edge that, or does he hit it come off his foot? Anyway, it was taken by Rakeem Cornwall at slip. The Indians are appealing, but the umpire, Richard Kettleborough, is unmoved. Wanders down to Warwick to give his hat back. That is the end of the over. It's 352 for 3, the latest score at Windsor Park.
And Andrew, as we have said, the West Indies have no more reviews. As we look at the monitor, there's no spike. I mean, when we look at it, I mean, probably ball hit the ground away from the bat. Good delivery from Warwick, though. Who bowled well, Andrew? He bowled very well, Warwick, and the ball seemed to have nowhere close to the bat, Andrew, when we look at the monitor.
Yeah, but my question is, how did it end up in Cornwall's hands?
Well, it spun, and the wicket has spun from day one.
Yeah. Right, so it's going to be Alzari Joseph from the Botanical Gardens end, with the backdrop of the mountains and the hills behind him, behind the Billy Doctrove Pavilion. Here comes Joseph, and that one's outside the line of off stump. Rahane lets it go through to the keeper, wanders out of his crease, but no one attempts to run him out. I think only Australians do that. But that's the crazy thing about that Bairstow run out. If it had been in the middle of the over, they wouldn't have tried it.
Yeah.
But it happened to be at the end of the over.
Well, you know, the Australians, that's how they've played the cricket over the years, and that's how they've played.
Here's Joseph once again. And Rahane's defensively forward, playing that into the covers where Blackwood does the fielding, and there's no run. What are you implying there, Sebo?
No, just saying the Australians, that's how they play the cricket. I remember a few years ago that Brian Lara was batting, I can't remember which end. Steve Ward backward point caught him, clearly looked to have touched the ground, and Brian Lara walked, and the umpires never, the Australians never withdrew the appeal. And when the replay was shown, clearly touched the ground. Steve Ward backward point. So many times you find that sort of thing from, in fact, even when West Indies in 75 got this 5-1, still were a number of questionable decisions.
Here's Joseph, bowling to Rahane. And once more he finds that man Blackwood at cover. And there's no run.
And in fact, Andrew, your own country, New Zealand, the West Indies suffered at the hands as well. I think it was in the late 70s when, in fact, you even had two bowlers who suggested that one kicked down the stump because a lot of bad decisions went against the West Indies in that tour. I don't know if you ever read about it.
I'm not that young.
No, I'm just asking.
I think I know which series you're referring
Right, okay.
to. We'll,
Viv Richards wasn't on that tour. Yeah.
no, but Colin Croft was.
Okay.
Here's Joseph, bowling to Rahane, and that's a full-length delivery. He works it off his toes, out to the man coming in off the boundary. That's Ramon Reefer, and that's one run. Yes.
And Michael Holden was also on that tour.
Let's just say Colin Croft and Fred Goodall don't send each other Christmas cards.
How is he, Goodall? Is he still around? Umpire Goodall.
Umpire Fred Goodall?
Yeah.
I'm not sure, to be honest.
It was suggested that one of Croft badged into umpire Goodall. I don't know, because the West Indies bowlers were very frustrated on that tour.
Yeah, but nonetheless, that's totally out of order. I'm pretty sure Colin Croft doesn't remember that with much pride or fondness. Here's Rahane. Oh, sorry, that's Kohli defending that one. I think it's got an inside edge there and it went through to Joshua De Silva just down the leg side. And there's no run. So I'd have to say Joseph's bowling pretty well in this spell. He hasn't bowled, yes, there was an inside edge from Virat Kohli, just went past his leg stump. Joseph hasn't been at his best in this match, but he's bowling well in this morning. Got the wicket of Jaiswal, caught by Joshua De Silva. Here's Joseph once again. And this time Kohli's working it past mid-wicket. Ramon Reefer comes around from the position of deep square leg to restrict the scoring to 1. That takes Kohli on to 48, and India are 354 for 3. That's the latest score at Windsor Park.
And Andrew, I wonder what is Kohli's slowest first class half century, or first close test half century. It'd be interesting to find that out, because he's now batting forward 142 deliveries. I can't remember ever watching Virat Kohli playing such a slow inning. He decided from yesterday the wicket is not his type of pitch where he can play the wrong, playing all these fancy cover drives he normally plays or pulls. He's prepared to fight and bat for a long, long time.
Well, I mean, aside from the other side, it's been a pattern in this match. The batsmen have just, you know, they've really just dug in. Rohit was the same. You know, he didn't score very quickly either. It's been a slow-scoring Test match, which I guess is some reflection on the pitch itself. But you know, the West Indies have copped a bit of flack, you know, and fairly for their batting. But as Warrican starts a new over, bowling to Kohli, and he pushes that just to the left of Chanderpaul at cover, and there's one run for Kohli. He moves on to 49. But the West Indies have actually bowled pretty well.
Yes,
you know.
that's true.
You can't take that away from them. They bowl well. You know, they haven't gone, apart from Joseph, who's been expensive.
But he still has bowled well.
All the rest of them are going for, like, you know, 2.5 and over. Here's Warrican to Rahane this time. He finds Chanderpaul at cover and there's no run.
In fact, Afanaz bowled extremely well yesterday.
Really well?
Yeah, he bowled very well, Ali Afanaz bowled very well.
Here's Warrican. This time Rahane's playing it into the leg side. Blackwood's there, he picks the ball up and there's no run.
Oh, we just find out that Kohli's slowest half century was against England 2012 when he batted 171 balls for half century, Andrew.
Where was that played at?
In India, it was in India.
Okay.
Yeah, it was in India. He batted 171 balls for his half century, but now he's batted what, 148 deliveries or 143?
143. I don't think he's in danger of breaking that record today. Just Rahane's moved on to 3 in the meantime, working one to square leg. So here's Kohli on strike on 49. Of course, he has 28 Test 50s to go with his 2800s. And he defends that one from Warrican. Picked up by Reefer under the helmet at Silly Point. This time Kohli's forward once again to a ball on the line of off stump. He defends it to point and there's no run. So Kohli remains on 49. Rahane's with him on 3. And India now 356 for 3. That's the latest score at Windsor Park.
And Andrew, I'm just hoping that our West Indian batsmen can learn from Kohli and Joshua and Sharma and realize that this is not a pitch where you can come and play alternate shot. When they get the chance to bat, fight. Let's give the Indians the fight. West Indian batsmen should say that our first target, try and erase the 300 or whatever deficit and fight on. Let us see if we can draw the game or something. So I'm hoping they can be learning from Kohli, the great batsman, from Sharma, from Yashwal, and be prepared to fight and battle on when they get a chance to bat in the second inning.
Well, I think what I've noticed, particularly when Rohit was batting, you know, he had a very simple game plan, at least from my observation, is just play each ball on its merit. Here's Joseph bowling to Rahane, and he's lofted it to cover where Blackwood takes the catch, and another wicket for Alzari Joseph.
No, actually it's Kema Roach, Andrew.
Oh, it's Kema Roach. Sorry. Wow, the bowling change made a difference. Kema Roach was first ball of the day. Saw it. And Rahane looking to drive that one, but he drove it in the air, and Blackwood took a very comfortable catch at cover.
Inside. Immerse yourself in colors that come alive.
Color by Sissons.
Let your imagination run wild. Surround yourself in a world of color.
Color by Sissons.
Endless inspiration. Bold expression.
Color by Sissons. Sissons. Express your style with Color by Sissons.
Through mentorship and guidance, let us provide support to those who may feel lost or tempted by the wrong path. Remember, conflict resolution is key. Instead of resorting to violence, let us learn to communicate effectively, to listen, and to find common ground. Together, we can create a Grenada where our dreams can flourish and our talents can shine. This message was brought to you by the New National Party, your voice in shaping the future of Grenada.
They've got a very long batting lineup, haven't they, India? Just looking at it again. So Roach have bowled that a foot or so wide of off stump, a little bit short of a length. Rahane was driving at it, but it wasn't there to drive. And the simplest of catches for Jermaine Blackwood. Here's Roach, this time round the wicket to Jadeja. And he's defending. The ball on the line of the stumps. Picked up by Ramon Reefer at cover, and there's no run. Oh, you'd have to say that was a good bowling change, Cebu.
Yes, it was. And although Azari Joseph, he tried, but he bowled it harder out. He picked up the wicket of Joshua, and he bowled well himself. A little expensive, but I thought he had bowled very well.
Here's Roach once more. Bowling to Jadeja, that's down the leg side. He looks to try and flick it away towards fine leg, but doesn't make contact. And it's through to through to Joshua De Silva behind the stumps. Yeah, I've been impressed with De Silva. Even that one wasn't the easiest of takes, but he gloved it cleanly. Didn't concede any runs. Here's Roach once again, bowling to Jadeja, and that one's on the line of leg stump, and he plays it up to mid-on where Jason Holder does the fielding, and there's no run. Yep, I think those wickets may well have encouraged a few more fans to come in today.
Yes, I think the West Indies team will be supported by Dominicans. Dominicans have a way of supporting the home team. The West Indies team is the home team. I think we'll get more people here, particularly when the West Indies are batting later today.
Here's Roach, and Jadeja's driving that one. Timed it nicely, but Craig Brathwaite is up there at mid-off, and he cut that one off, and there's no run.
In fact, last year when West Indies played the 2 T20s against Bangladesh, it was that the West Indian players even had a lap of honor because the support they got last year. There was a big crowd, and I think the West Indies, the Dominican public will continue to support the West Indies team in spite of the fact that they're behind in this game.
Here's Roach once again, but his radar is off somewhat. It's down the leg side, and Joshua De Silva collects it. That's the end of a successful over. A wicket maiden by Kemar Roach. He has 1 for 38 off 17, and it's India 355 for 6. Sorry, 356 for 4. It's the latest score at Windsor Park.
As you mentioned earlier on, and all the bowlers, the economy rate has been good. I mean, Roach, Jason Holder, Cornwall, Warwick, the economy rate of all the bowlers have bowled. They bowled very well, despite the fact that India is 356 for 4.
Even the part-timers, Brathwaite has gone for hardly any runs.
And Alec Daffan has bowled extremely well himself.
Yeah. What I'm curious to know is where Athanase will bat in the second innings.
Well, he's at 5, that's where he's slotted in, that's where he batted in the first inning. I don't think it will change.
I just thought he looked so good, and wonder if there's a temptation to maybe move him up to number 3. Here's Warwican beginning a new over, bowling to Virat Kohli, who's there on 49. Kind of forgotten he's there at the moment with everything going on around him. He requires one more run to bring up his 29th Test half century. There's Warwican, and this time Kohli works it to the right of Jermaine Blackwood, takes off for a single, And he brings up his 50. Generous applause from the crowd. It's interesting, isn't it, when these guys get later on in their career, they get to 50 and
Yeah, it's like
they
nothing.
barely even acknowledge it.
Yeah, because this guy has made so many hundreds in both ODIs and Test cricket that when he gets to 50, it's nothing for him, really.
I was in Pakistan earlier this year, Sebo, and Kane Williamson got through to 200 and just kind of went, raised his bat and just carried on. In fact, they declared when he got to 200, but yeah. Here's Warrican bowling to Jadeja, round the wicket, and Jadeja's defensively forward. Unlike David Warner, of course, who injured himself in his celebration getting to 200.
He got so excited.
Just ridiculous. Absolutely. I'd be so annoyed if I was his captain. Oh, sorry, I can't bat. Why not? I injured myself celebrating my double century. Here's Warrican bowling to Jadeja, and he works that one up to mid-on, where Craig Brathwaite does the fielding, and there's no run. Warrican round the wicket, and that one bounced. Joshua De Silva lost his helmet in the process trying to stop that one. That is the end of the over. It's 357 for 4. That's the latest score at Windsor Park.
I'm surprising that the Indians chose to send Jadeja ahead of Ishan Kishan. Ishan Kishan is a specialist batsman, and one would have thought that a score of over 304 wickets would have allowed him to go on, give him some confidence. Very surprised that they chose to allow Jadeja to bat before Ishan Kishan.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. Considering that Rishabh Pant normally bats at 6 for India.
He batted at 5 sometimes.
Yeah.
Rishabh Pant.
So it's going to be Roach. Definitely not Joseph. It's Roach coming into Kohli. He strikes that one into the covers. It's misfielded there. In the covers, and he gets through for a single, and that takes him on to 51. That brings Jadeja on to strike. Just checking who that is there. Number 31, it's a substitute fielder, Tevin Imlach.
Yeah, he's a wicketkeeper batsman from Guyana. Imlach, youngster, promising player.
There's Roach round the wicket to Jadeja. It's on the line of leg stump. And he's defending that into the leg side. It's picked up there by Reefer, and there's no run. Roach once more past umpire Michael Goff, and Jadeja plays that one off his legs, but it's well fielded down there by that man, Tevin Imlach. He restricts the scoring to 2 runs. He came around from a long leg position to fine leg, and Jadeja's off the mark with 2. Roach once more, and Jadeja's prodding at one outside off stump. It was a full length delivery, but he didn't make contact. Through to Joshua De Silva. This next delivery from Roach is on the line of off stump. And Jadeja's watchfully forward. There's no run. So, just looking at the field, I guess you would call it a pretty regulation field. There's a man at deep forward square leg, there's 2 slips, 3 men on the offside saving 1, 2 on the onside saving 1. Here's Roach, rolling to Jadeja, and he's watchfully forward, just playing it back along the pitch. That's the end of the over. It's 360 for 4. It's the latest score at Windsor Park.
And I didn't understand the fieldsman at deep square leg for Jadeja. Jadeja is not a player who's going to be hooking. And I was a bit surprised that you'd have that a new batsman, maybe put some pressure or short leg or something. I don't think Jadeja is the type of batsman, particularly early on, who's going to be taking chances and try and hook all over the place. So probably Craig Braff with a little more pressure, and Jadeja seemed look to try and get him out. Andrew, last night did you go out on the town to see what is happening now?
Yeah, I think Thursday nights are a busier night here in Dominique or in Rousseau. I noticed one of the restaurants, it normally closes at 5, it closed at 8 last night. But there's a nice little bar on the waterfront called High Rise. They had a training session last night for all their new staff. Very friendly bunch of people. I went down there for a little while.
Well, tonight you should enjoy the city. There'll be a lot of noise all over the place, a lot of music. If you go on the promenade, I think you'll enjoy yourself tonight. Lots of places around town where you can walk around, have a beverage. I won't say what type, and get something to eat, and meet a lot of people, in fact.
So it's going to be Warwican to continue. He just went off the field for a comfort break in the last over. Saw him wander back on and Tevin Imlach wander off. So Warwican into his 44th over the wicket to Coley. He's defending and there's no run. Yeah, I've been impressed with Warwican. He's one for 102, but off 43 overs, it's a pretty good return, I think. That one's flighted further, dipping at the last minute on Virat Kohli. He plays it comfortably to Blackwood at mid-wicket, and there's no run. Here's Warwican. And this time Kohli's just defending once more. The same man again, Blackwood. As Warwican flighted again, but it's drifting down the leg side and Kohli picks that one up. Just plays it behind square. Blackwood has to run across from mid-wicket, but there's only time for one, so Kohli moves on to 52. The West India lead is 2-1-1.
And Virat Kohli hasn't really taken any chances. Rohit is not prepared to fight and stay there and bat until every ball he plays. He has played every ball on its merit.
Except for the time when Craig Brathwaite dropped him.
Oh yeah, extra cover.
Here's Warwican to Jadeja, and I just don't understand that. Why is there a deep mid long on? Joseph's at deep long on, gives Jadeja the chance to get off strike. That's just senseless in my opinion.
No need for that. A new batsman, you have a man on the boundary. He's not going to try and go over the top so early.
Here's Kohli on strike again, and he whips that one away, but he can't beat Jason Holder at mid-on. That's the end of the over, 1 run from it. And now the score here at Windsor Park is 362 for 2, and that is the latest score at Windsor Park.
362 for 4, Andrew.
Sorry, 362 for 4.
They were picked up 2 wickets this morning. Azari Joseph took one, so 4 wickets, Kima Roach as well. So it's 362 for 4. The West Indies trying to get back in the game. I mean, I'm saying this loosely because I mean, when you are led by 212 runs, you're chasing the game and clean.
Well, I had to do an interview for a radio station last night. Perhaps I won't name them because the question I got asked is, what do West Indies have to do to draw or perhaps win the game?
Yeah.
I said, well, let's just rule out a win now, shall we? I don't think that's going to happen. Here's Roach once more to Jadeja. It's outside the line of off stump and it's through to Joshua De Silva and there's no run.
Well, yeah, the West Indian batsmen now have to be thinking about it for 2 days or more, Andrew, to try and save the game. As you said, I don't think West Indies can win it from here because if the Indians bat till this afternoon, they probably have a lead of 300. So when the West Indies go back to bat, try and bat, play it session by session. The openers give a good start and allow the middler to come and see if they can draw the game.
Here's Roach once again, bowling to Jadeja, but he can't beat the man at cover. It is Tevin Imlek, so someone else has gone off the field. We'll try and pick up who that is in a moment.
It's Cornwall on the field, let's see.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you can't miss him when he's on the field anyhow, so let's see who else is off the field.
Of all the people that you had to try and figure out if they're off the field or not, Cornwall would be the one that's...
Well, he was off the
it's a
field
straight yes
for most
or
of
no.
yesterday.
Here's Roach around the wicket to Jadeja and he's defending to that man Imlak, the substitute, and there's no run. So Warrican's there, Blackwood's there, Reefer's there. No, that's not Reefer.
What?
Is there another substitute on? That's Akeem Jordan, isn't it?
Oh, where is he at?
Is
Mid-on?
it mid-wicket?
Mid-wicket. No, isn't that Reefer? Sure, it's Jordan. Isn't that Reefer at mid-wicket? I think that's Reefer.
Here's Roach. Ah, you're right, that is Reefer, yeah. I thought it was 81, but it's number 87, yeah. Anyway, that one's defended by Jadeja to Jason Holder and there's no run. Anyway, someone's off the field. Athanase is there, he's at second slip, Brathwaite's there.
Is Chanderpaul on the field?
Yeah, I think it's Chanderpaul.
Chanderpaul might be off.
Yeah. Here's Roach, running from the Billy Doctrove Pavilion to Jadeja. He just lets that one go outside the line of off stump, and there's no run.
Andrew, batting won't be all that easy from this afternoon onwards. The pitch, some balls are turning. The conditions it's not going to be easy for the West Indian team, but they should be prepared to fight and bat very, very long.
Yeah, well, that's I suppose the issue. You know, that's probably the factor that's going to separate these two sides at the moment is, well, I mean, obviously the Indian batsmen have done a hell of a lot better, but here's Roach rolling to Jadeja and he lets that one go through the keeper and there's no run. And it is the end of the over, in fact. It's 362 for 4. That's the latest score at Windsor Park.
Yes, and it had been slow going this morning. The Indians not really pushing on. They prepared to just battle and fight. Obviously they had a plan, Andrew, from the time they came into bat that they were only prepared to bat once. They didn't care how long it took them. If they got to 400 or 450, the aim and the objective, I suspect, was to bat once.
For sure. That is the time for a commentary change as well. Andy Carter's going to come in and take my place.
So we're about to see Warrican bowling from the river end. 362 for the loss of 4 wickets. Just 50 runs added this morning. Remember that India resumed at 312 for 2. They have added 50 runs this morning and they have lost 2 wickets. I say welcome and good morning to you, Ronak Kapoor.
Good morning, Andy. So it's a better morning for the West Indies than day
Indeed.
1 and day 2.
Indeed, yesterday for the whole day they had only 2 wickets, and in the first session of play they have already picked up 2 wickets, and one of these, Jaiswal, who scored that magnificent 171 of 387 balls, 16 fours and a 6. Your impressions of what you saw of Jaiswal?
So impressive, Andy, so impressive. We thought that when he got into this team that we're going to see a dasher, someone who plays the white ball game in red ball cricket, but he's shown that he's adaptable. This is not an easy surface. As you can see now, Ajinkya Rahane, experienced batter, getting out. Shubman Gill's got a good one, he got out cheaply. West Indies struggled. So it's not as easy as Jaiswal's innings, and the situation of the game may make us feel. So full credit to him, and I'm sure it's the first of many, many more.
Indeed. Here is Warrican bowling to Jadeja, comes forward, plays on the offside, and there is no run. A bit surprising that Jadeja came ahead of Ishan Kishan.
Yeah, I asked him yesterday, I said, is Kishan being in the side going to change your batting number? He said, yeah, I'll bat 1 position higher. So he's a confident man. I guess India are just going to stick to Jadeja as a number 6 in all conditions, so they're just sticking with what they know.
Warrican bowls to Jadeja, he turns it past the leg gully position. Roach comes into play and the batsman cross for 1. 1 more to the total, 364 for the loss of 4. India lead by 214 runs. And we saw a very good over from Azari Joseph, the one in which he dismissed Jaiswal.
Yeah, he's bowled well. I'm surprised he's been bowling as little as he has. As Warrican bowls 5th ball of the over, Kohli drives, and there's a fielder there, Roach again at short 3rd, no run. I believe he was off the field for about half an hour yesterday, Joseph, so he couldn't start this morning. He's a bit expensive, Alzari Joseph, but he's the strike bowler in this team.
Warrican has Kohli playing on the back foot, plays to short leg. The over comes to an end. Over number 135 is complete. India 364 for the loss of 4, the latest score here at Windsor Park.
It is said, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Therefore, the authenticity of the beverage can only be acquired in the taste. A taste which is original to Antoine de Beauregard Industries and comes from a combination of spices and local rum, which can hold its own all over the world. Woodman, a strength which speaks for itself. A taste which stands out from the rest, bottled with care, which speaks to perfection. Try Woodman today and be stunned by a flavor as never before. Let your palate savor that which is produced locally. Do not be deterred by substandard products. Our taste speaks volumes and sets us apart from the competition. You will be satisfied with every sip of our product. Say rum, say Woodman, feel satisfaction. Now that's quality.
There to Jadeja.
Yeah, welcome Alec Athanas to Ravindra Jadeja. To be fair, it wasn't a great ball. You see him bowling around the wicket to the left-hander, and he's pitched it short. Jadeja rocks back on the back foot, and there's no one at deep mid-wicket. There is a deep square leg, but he's found the gap, and he's put that way over the boundary.
Jadeja has been sent in to accelerate the scoring, and he got a gift of a delivery there first up by Afanas, dragging the ball down. Here is Afanas from around the wicket, bowls to Jadeja. Jadeja is beaten there, the ball biting and turning on this occasion.
Yeah, that's better, and this is why I'm feeling a lot of regret for Craig Brathwaite, because he had to do without his main spinner, off-spinner Rakim Cornwall. Athanas, when he's pitched it right, has asked questions. It's a shame we didn't get to see more of Cornwall.
Afanas has the batsman not too comfortable on this occasion. Much better line, much better direction there by Afanas. Took that wicket of Rohit Sharma, whom he got out for 103, 229 run partnership. An opening partnership, a record partnership by Jaiswal. As this one, he plays it, cuts it, and the fieldsman Shandapur stops the ball, but not before the batsman crossed for one. One more to Jadeja, he moves on to 11, and India now 371 for 4. They lead by 221 runs. In your opinion, what do you think India, what score India would be looking for, what lead they would be looking for?
I think, Andy, knowing this Indian team, they will just bat. They'll bat normally. They don't have a score in mind right now. The best chance we'll see of the West Indies batting is if they get these 6 wickets, as Athanas continues round the wicket to the right-handed Kohli as well, who defends straight to short leg, no run. The only thing I could see here is maybe after tea, if these two still stay, they'll look to get the West Indies in, but not before that.
Athanas again, right arm off spinner, Bo's delivery pitched on the legs, going further down the leg side. Wicketkeeper De Silva gathers quite cleanly. The over comes to an end. At the end of the over, Kohli is on 53, Jadeja is on 11, India 371 for the loss of 4, and that's the latest score here at Windsor Park. So this morning resuming on 312 for 2 with an overall lead of 162. Kohli was on 36 not out. Jaiswal was on 143 not out. Jaiswal was the first to go, caught at the wicket by wicketkeeper De Silva of Alzari Joseph for 171. Phenomenal and monumental knock. 387 balls, 16 fours and 1 6. And the West Indies had quick success when they had the Indian vice captain Rahane caught at cover by Blackwood of the bowling of Roach for 3. It was then 4 for 356. They have moved on to 371 as we are about to see Craig Bradford, the West Indies captain, coming in to bowl from the river end. So a few more minutes to lunch. It's just about 11:39 to 21 more minutes to lunch. Bradford flies this ball, the ball grips and turns there.
Wow, that is unplayable. Brathwaite, the part-time off spinner, the captain, has got one to pitch around middle and leg, and there's a puff of dust, I'm pretty sure, as we are on. Oh, that's just turned square. No chance. It's turned so much that Joshua De Silva's collected it nearly head high sidewards with his gloves. So that will give encouragement to Jadeja, to Ashwin. And I think that's the answer to your question, Andy. It's not about a score. It's how much time India can bat. So this pitch starts turning more, bouncing more to make Ashwin and Jadeja's job that much easier when they bowl in the second innings.
Well, they bowled quite well in the first innings. On the first day, Ashwin picking up 5 wickets, Jadeja getting 3, and on a wearing pitch, they would fancy their chances.
They're like at home. We come to the West Indies, but these are the kind of surfaces we get back home in India.
Here is Brathwaite, flies delivery there to Jadeja. Jadeja comes forward, strokes it to past the man at short leg. Riffer is in pursuit and they can score. Brathwaite from around the wicket floats this one again. Generous flight there given by Brathwaite.
Invitation, come on, hit me. You got Jason Holder, who's about 2/3 of the way back on the boundary at long on. There's a long off as well. So he's tossing it up and inviting Jadeja to play the big shot.
Here is Brathwaite, again flies, he strokes it powerfully, well knocked down there by the bowler, preventing any chance of a run. Kohli kept on 53, Jadeja is still on 11, India lead by 221. Here is Brathwaite again, generous flight, and the batsman plays it to short extra cover, where Shandapur is there and there is no run. Final delivery of the over, goes on the back foot, punches it past the extra cover. Holder will come off the long off boundary and Jadeja will get one more run. The end of the over, at the end of the over, Jadeja 12, Kohli 53, India 372 for the loss of 4.
Getting
Gittins Home and Garden Center, your main pillar for agricultural supplies in Grenada. We supply fertilizers, herbicides, seedlings and nursery supplies, diesel water pumps, walk-behind tillers, organic and environmentally friendly agricultural inputs. We're serving you from 2 locations at Birch Grove and booth 34 at the Vendors Market in Grenville. Cost-effective agricultural solutions for all your needs. Visit Gittins Home and Garden Center for the best in everything agriculture. Call us on 409-2175 or 438-4337. Gittins Home and Garden Center, from your farm to your backyard.
And I do not want the game to finish just for you to go to visit the site. So we're just hoping that the West Indies will give a good account of themselves in the second innings, as Afanas gets one to spin away from the left-handed batsman. He was prodding at it, ball missing the outside edge and going through to the wicket-keeper.
Yeah, it's a good point you make, because I think India have shown, while it's not an easy pitch to score runs on, but you could certainly survive in that time, and that was the disappointing part of how West Indies played on day one. Is Athana's bowls to Jadeja, continuing around the wicket. This one kept a little bit low. Jadeja went on the back foot trying to cut it, but the bounce didn't allow for that, and Joshua De Silva couldn't collect it cleanly. So we're seeing already evidence that this pitch is going to be very tricky as the game goes deeper and deeper. But the batter should take heart, and hopefully Craig Brathwaite and co will bat a lot better.
Flatter delivery, pushed through a bit more. The batsman Jadeja works it to the left of mid-on, Holder fields, and there is 1 run. So Jadeja 13, Kohli 53. And yesterday we saw the discipline of Jaiswal, because you saw Holder operating and bowled the ball outside the off stump, and he had the discipline not to play at.
Yeah.
And we saw some of the West Indies batsmen playing at wider deliveries than what we saw Jaiswal leave.
Yeah, 100%. Athana just loads up to bowl the 5th ball of this over, this time to Kohli. It's a full toss, and he tries to whip it on the leg side. It's beaten the man inside the circle. The outfield is not very fast, but it's a tired West Indies fielding unit. So no dive put in the deep by the fielder, and Kohli helps himself to 4, and there's a big punch as Kohli gets what I think is only his 2nd boundary in 160 balls, 3rd boundary, Andy, in 159 balls.
Yes, and you could see the joy of Kohli getting a gift of a delivery there from Afanas and hitting it down to the backward square leg boundary, and you could see Kohli very elated on getting his 3rd boundary in an innings. You can see it on the...
This is Real FM. The time is 15 minutes before 12 noon.
The Grenville Cooperative Credit Union.
Triple N News. Northern News.
The Grenville Cooperative Credit Union. The credit union of Grenville takes you where you want to be. Feel secure with the Credit Union of Grenville, taking care of all your financial needs, including savings, loans, mortgages, and sound financial advice. Serving you with branches on Jubilee Street in Grenville, Lucas Street in St. George's, and coming soon, our Grandand sub-office. Call us on 442-8602 or visit one of our offices. With Grenville Cooperative Credit Union, your financial security is guaranteed.
Getting a short delivery from Brathwaite and hitting it down through square leg for 4. So Kohli stepping up on it right now and getting some gifts there from the bowlers. Short delivery, dragged down there by Brathwaite, getting into his wicket very quickly and hitting it to the square leg boundary for 4.
Yeah, that's another gift. So suddenly Kohli's getting many boundaries.
Another delivery which forces Kohli into defense. Back along the track to the bowler. Bright, sunny conditions prevailing here at Windsor Park. A lovely day for cricket. Brathwaite bowls to Kohli again. A delivery directed on the legs of the batsman. He works it down to deep backward square. Blackwood comes off the boundary and Kohli helps himself to another run. Kohli 63, Jadeja 13. 383 for the loss of 4. So these two compiling a partnership. Remember that Rahane was out when the score was 356. Here is Jadeja getting himself room, playing it to backward point. They run 1. You were thinking of 2. And they settle for 1. Kohli is a busy batsman. Once he's at the crease, he scampers for the first one. And if there's any semblance of a chance of getting a second, he is the kind of batsman who will capitalize on it. Drives past the man at wideish mid-on. The ball will go down to long on, where Holder picks up, and once again another run to Virat Kohli.
Yeah, he's that kind of character. He's always intense. Even if he's batting at 64 of 165, he'll always try and get a quick single. We've seen some sharp chances this morning as Brathwaite bowls the last ball of the over to Jadeja off the back foot, and that completes the 139th over, 385 for 4 here at Windsor Park.
It has been a long vigil out there for the West Indies. They've got to learn from what they have seen from Rohit Sharma and Jaiswal. They've got to occupy the crease for a long time, and that will encourage the crowd, because it's important that you please the crowd by scoring runs. They are eagerly anticipating that the West Indies will put up some sort of fight.
Yeah, we've seen good numbers turn up here, even though it's been a tough match for the West Indies. So this crowd here at Windsor Park deserves a bit of cheering, a bit of uplifting, and that'll come when the West Indies bats. Again, I dearly hope it's not just India turning up and rolling their arms over and dismissing the West Indies cheaply.
Well, they'll need a solid opening partnership from Chanderpaul and Brathwaite to start with. Here is a delivery there from Alfanaz, turns it to short backward square. Chanderpaul fields, and the batsman cross for an easy run. 386 for the loss of 4. We are approaching lunch on this, the 3rd day of the cycle Pure Agapafi test. Remember, there is another one over in Trinidad, which begins on the 20th of July. Here is the batsman working this one beautifully off his legs. A slight fumble there, allowing the batsman ample time to get 2 runs.
Yeah, the evidence in the last few overs, Andy, just shows now this is a tired West Indies fielding side, and understandably so. They've been in the field a long time. This is the 5th session that they're there, and it's still nowhere near the finish of the innings. So Chanderpaul not put in a dive a few overs ago. We're seeing Jason Holder, big man, just doesn't get down in time. And that, I hope that doesn't carry over to the batting, because this is a test of their mental strength more than their physical.
Indeed, here is Alfanaz, bows a delivery, keeping a bit low on this occasion, and the ball going through to wicketkeeper De Silva. That wouldn't be a very good sign for the West Indies if the ball begins to keep a bit low, to contend with Ashwin and Jadeja. As he comes forward there, Jadeja opens the face of the bat, guides the ball there to slip. Blackwood picks up, and there is no run. So Alfanaz once again, a short delivery, and Jadeja is hitting this one to the right of the man there stationed at mid-wicket. Another boundary there, short of a length delivery from Alfanaz, and Jadeja quickly reading the length well and hitting it down to the right of mid-wicket into the boundary.
Yeah, I think now we're seeing signs of fatigue in the bowling, because there are a lot more loose balls in the last 3 or 4 overs, and we saw almost all of yesterday. I actually think, despite the scorecard, West Indies bowled as well as they could have yesterday. There weren't too many loose balls, boundary scoring opportunities, but today and now we're seeing a few more.
Well, in the last half an hour, we just see the final delivery of Alfanaz's over. He has bowled 16 overs, and you can see India 392 for 4. But with Cornwall off the field yesterday, he was called in to bowl, and he did a fairly good job yesterday, Alfanaz. I'm sure he wasn't expecting that he would have had to bowl all these overs. But when duty calls, you've got to come up and step up to the plate, and he tried his best. And yesterday, only 232 runs was scored of 90 overs.
Correct.
Very slow, grinding knock by India.
Which tells you two things. One, that it's not an easy run scoring ground. Yes, you can survive. And two, the West Indies didn't bowl all that badly. If they'd bowled as many bad balls as we've seen in the last 10 minutes since you and me have been together, Andy, the lead could have easily been well in excess of 200, 250 yesterday. So it shows that the West Indies bowled well. They were just limited, and they were up against a really good batting performance, mature batting performance by Rohit Sharma, Jaiswal, and then to a degree Virat Kohli as well. So something for them to learn, and without their main spinner on a track which is turned from day one, I only have sympathies for Craig Brathwaite.
Here he is, bowls on the legs of Kohli. Kohli is stroking this one to the mid-wicket area, and Imlak, the substitute fielder, comes in and can't prevent a run. One more to Kohli. He's on 66, and India approaching the 400 mark. 393 for the loss of 4. They lead by 243 runs on first innings. So it's about 8 more minutes to lunch, and Brathwaite has 2 slips, backward point, short extra cover, mid off, bowls a delivery wide of the off stump, and the batsman allows it to go through. So 2 substitutes on the field. We see Cook, Mackenzie there at straightish mid wicket, opens the face of the bat. There guides the ball to backward point. Blackwood is in the way, and there is no run. Brathwaite again outside the off stump, wanting to just end this session a bit tighter, because in the last 10 minutes or so the runs came off the bat quite freely. Here is Brathwaite from around the wicket, draws the batsman forward, correctly forward. There is Jadeja. A good delivery on the stumps. So Jadeja has rushed to 20. Here is Brathwaite again, met with the defensive prod there of Jadeja. The over comes to an end. Brathwaite completes his 9th over, none for 21, his figures reads, and at the end of 141 overs, India 393 for the loss of 4.
All India in this test match, and at the moment West Indies, it almost seems like their shoulders are dropping. They can't wait for lunch, for a bit of a breather, and hopefully Rakeem Cornwall will come in straight after lunch. He was ineligible to bowl in this session, having missed 2 sessions of play yesterday because it wasn't an external injury. He's not allowed to bowl right away, so I think Craig Brathwaite is just counting down the clock and the overs now to get a breather and allow Rakeem Cornwall, who we hope is in able enough condition to bowl in the second session of day 3, because he'll certainly have a job to do.
So he has decided to bring in Raymond Rifa. Both just 3 overs in the inning so far. 3 overs, none for 9. But in the quest of keeping things tight and reducing the amount of overs to be bowled before lunch, he has brought in a slow medium bowler, and just to kill some time. So he will bowl to Virat Kohli. Kohli is on 66. He has faced 167 balls, featured in that 110-run partnership with Jaiswal, which the Indian innings built upon two big partnerships, 229 between Jaiswal and Rohit Sharma, and 140, 110 between Kohli, as this one is worked down to the man on the long leg boundary. Azari Joseph is there, and Kohli gets another run. So we've been blessed with 3 beautiful sunlight days. When you came in, I'm sure, on Monday and Tuesday.
Oh, it was raining. It was raining, and I was worried, will we get a test on time? And it's been brilliant. We've just had a small interruption on day 1. It's a bit of a drizzle this morning, well before play, but absolutely no threat. Although I think right now the West Indies wouldn't mind some rain.
I think the crowd wants to see cricket, and they will come in their numbers to see the West Indies bat. Rifa bowls a delivery outside the off stump. Jadeja allows it to go through to the wicket keeper. But it's always the case that the West Indian fans, they love, even though they're losing, they would want to see their side bat.
Yeah.
They would want them to do well. And if, I can tell you, if they have a good start and they go on into tomorrow, we will have a large crowd here at Windsor Park.
Oh, I mean, you could just see the emotion and the vibe when Alec Athanas was batting. You know, it was just a different mood around the ground as Rafa loads up. Another ball to Jadeja. This time it's a full toss. He's punched it to mid-off. They're trying a quick single. Shy at the stumps from the fielder at mid-off. He misses. It's Craig Brathwaite, the captain, and the batters managed to scamper through for a quick single to take the score to 345 now. It was very close, but these fine close calls have all gone India's way. So 395, beg your pardon. The lead is 245. Yeah, the mood when Athanas was batting, Andy, you'd know that was a different ground at that time. So they'd love a little more of that.
Indeed. But two of the quickest runners between wickets at the crease now.
They are two of the fittest cricketers across the globe. Jadeja and Kohli, they are the standard for fitness in any format.
So a bit of cloud cover now. The players will be happy for that right now. We have lost the full rays of the sun. I'm sure the people most happy about it now are the West Indian fielders.
Oh yeah, they're loving it. They're just looking up to see, is the cloud cover going to stay on a little longer? Because the sun has been playing hide and seek all morning.
So this might be the final over before lunch. Rafa bowls. Kohli is driving exquisitely. Beautiful shot there by Virat Kohli. What a shot there. That is one he would have loved to execute since yesterday. Coming forward and stroking the ball. Exquisite timing. Glorious shot there by Virat Kohli.
Yeah,
all class.
That's vintage. Vintage Virat. And we saw that he took 81 balls for his first boundary. When he got his second boundary and his third boundary, he was still celebrating because he's batted 160 balls. But in the last 15-20 minutes, he's had 3 or 4 deliveries that he's cashed in on. And now he's moved into the 70s very quickly.
Well, that was the shot of King Kohli, as they call him. Classic shot. Coming forward and just easing the ball through the extra cover region for a boundary. 71 he is. Widths now for Rafa. Rafa goes back of a length, not pitching this ball up as the previous delivery. Pushes it on the offside. Sets off for a run, gets it quite easily in the end. Kohli moves on to 72. And the Indians total now 400. The 400 of 141 overs and 5 balls. And the overall lead of 250.
Oh, the numbers just keep going up and up. And as we see Raymond Rafa, he's just taking his time because my clock tells me, my watch tells me it's 1 minute to go and there's 1 ball to play. So I think West Indies will be hoping that this ball takes a minute.
And delivery outside the off stump, not forced to play. Jadeja, umpire Goff will remove the bails, and it's lunch here on the 3rd day. 400 for the loss of 4. Virat Kohli not out on 72, faced 170 balls. Jadeja 21 of 52 balls. A session which we saw 2 wickets going down for India. 29 overs, 88 runs, and losing 2 wickets. So a fairly balanced session.
Yeah, but the state of the game will just not allow for any balance now. India will look to move on. They've got a lead now of 250. The 400 is up. Kohli suddenly getting ready to shift gears. And as we see Rakim Cornwall walk off, he'll have a big role to play after lunch. So let's hope that the game moves quickly for the sake of the West Indies side and we get to see them bat very soon.
So an overall lead of 250 runs in there. And how many more they will get, as Kapoor told us that they will bat as long as possible. Kohli is on 72. Jadeja not out 21 of 52 deliveries. The batsmen out today, Jaiswal caught the silver, Bull Joseph for 171. A fantastic knock by Jaiswal. Rohit was out yesterday, caught the silver, Bull Athanas for 103. Featured in that 229 run partnership. One which they broke the record, which was held by Virender Sehwag and Wasim Jaffer of 159 over in St. Lucia in 2006. It was a 17-year record, and for a debutant to have achieved that feat is really superlative.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think from what we've seen, it'll be the first of many, many more. The West Indies have been home to some great Indian players starting their Test career. Virat Kohli started here in 2011. Sunny Gavaskar started here in 71. Who knows? Maybe Jaiswal has started a very fruitful and successful international cricket journey at Windsor Park.
So thank you very much, Kanok Kapoor.
Thank you, Andy.
We
Pleasure.
appreciate your work. We really want to thank you on behalf of Cut and Drive Network. So 400 for 4, the score at lunch. Virat Kohli not out on 72 and Jadeja not out on 21. Please join us after lunch for resumption of play, where we will see India continuing, and a bit later we will see the West Indies having an uphill task, but we do hope that you will rejoin us after lunch. Until then, have a good lunch and be back to join us. Thank you very much.